Shadow work is often whispered about in spiritual and psychological circles as one of the most transformative journeys you can undertake. It's a process of diving into the hidden parts of yourself, the parts you've been conditioned to hide or deny. It's not about eliminating darkness, but embracing it, learning from it, and ultimately finding the wholeness that comes from integration. Today, we're going to unravel the depths of shadow work, what it is, why it's so essential for self-discovery, and how you can begin your own journey. By the end of this video, not only will you have a clearer understanding of shadow work, but you'll also have practical tools to get started. Let's start with the concept itself. What is the shadow? The shadow, as first defined by Carl Jung, represents the unconscious parts of ourselves. These are the traits, desires, and emotions we've suppressed because they conflict with the self-image we want to project to the world. Think about this for a moment. How often do you tell yourself, I would never do that, or that's not me? That denial, that disowning of certain traits, is exactly what creates the shadow. For example, maybe as a child, you were taught that showing vulnerability was a sign of weakness. Over time, you learn to suppress emotions like sadness or fear, convincing yourself that you're strong or independent. But the reality is, those emotions didn't disappear. They simply went underground, buried in your unconscious mind. Your shadow isn't just made up of so-called negative traits. It also holds your unexpressed creativity, your forgotten dreams, and the desires you were too afraid to pursue. The shadow is both a prison and a treasure chest, holding the parts of yourself you've yet to explore. Why do we suppress parts of ourselves? From the moment we're born, we're shaped by expectations of our families, our culture, and society at large. As children, we quickly learn what behaviors are rewarded and which are punished. If you were praised for being quiet and obedient, you might have suppressed your boldness or assertiveness. If you were scolded for being emotional, you might have buried your sensitivity. These patterns shape our personalities, but they also create blind spots, areas of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. This suppression is often unconscious. You don't decide to hide parts of yourself. It happens gradually, as you adapt to the world around you. But over time, these hidden parts start to show up in unexpected ways. How the shadow manifests. Let's talk about triggers. Have you ever had a strong emotional reaction to something someone said or did? Maybe it was anger, jealousy, or even disgust. Triggers are often signs that your shadow is at play. For instance, let's say you feel irritated by someone who seems overly confident. On the surface, it might seem like the problem is with them, but shadow work invites you to look inward. Is it possible that their confidence reminds you of something you've suppressed, your own desire to be bold and unapologetic? The shadow also manifests in patterns of self-sabotage. Maybe you've noticed that every time you get close to achieving a goal, you find a way to derail yourself. Or perhaps you've experienced recurring relationship conflicts that seem to follow the same script, no matter who you're with. These patterns aren't random. They're your shadow's way of making itself known, urging you to confront the parts of yourself you've ignored. The power of shadow work. So why should you confront your shadow? Why not leave it buried where it's out of sight? Because what you don't confront will control you. The parts of yourself you refuse to face will show up in your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, whether you're aware of it or not. Shadow work is about reclaiming your wholeness. It's about looking at the parts of yourself you've disowned and saying, I see you, I accept you. It's not about judging or fixing yourself, it's about understanding and integrating all aspects of who you are. When you do this, something incredible happens. You free up the energy you've spent suppressing your shadow. You start to see yourself more clearly, and you gain the power to choose how you respond to life, rather than being driven by unconscious forces. How to begin shadow work. Shadow work isn't something you can rush through or check off a to-do list. It's a process that requires patience, curiosity, and self-compassion. Here's how you can begin. Pay attention to your triggers. The next time you feel triggered, pause. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why does this bother me so much? Triggers are like mirrors, reflecting back the parts of yourself you haven't fully accepted. Journal. Set aside time to write freely about your thoughts and emotions. Use prompts like, what qualities in others annoy me the most? What am I afraid people might see? What childhood memories still hold emotional weight? Journaling helps bring unconscious patterns to the surface, making them easier to understand and integrate. Meditation and self-reflection. Create space for stillness. During meditation, notice what thoughts and emotions arise. Instead of pushing them away, observe them with curiosity. Inner dialogue. Imagine having a conversation with your shadow. What does it want to tell you? What does it need from you? This might feel strange at first, but it's a powerful way to connect with the parts of yourself you've neglected. Practical activities. Here are some hands-on exercises to deepen your shadow. Mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror and look into your own eyes. Say out loud, I see you, I accept all of you. Notice what emotions. Art therapy. Use drawing, painting, or writing to express your shadow. Let go of judgment and see what emerges. Shadow journaling. Dedicate a notebook specifically to exploring your shadow. Write about your triggers, recurring patterns, and suppressed emotions. Inner child visualization. Close your eyes and picture yourself as a child. What does that child need to hear? How can you offer them love and reassurance? Embracing the shadow. Shadow work isn't about achieving perfection. It's about becoming whole. It's about seeing yourself clearly and embracing all the messy, beautiful parts of who you are. The journey of shadow work is lifelong. As you grow and evolve, new aspects of your shadow will emerge. But each time you confront and integrate a piece of your shadow, you reclaim a part of yourself. So the next time you feel triggered or you notice a pattern of self-sabotage, take it as an invitation. Your shadow isn't your end, it's a guide, pointing you toward deeper self-awareness and healing. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or experiences with shadow work. And if you're ready to continue exploring the depths of your inner world, subscribe to this channel for more insights and guidance.